Thanks, Shaista.
So, hi, Helen. Meditating off the cushion has been a natural occurrence that seems to be increasing for me. Sometimes voluntary, sometimes involuntary. Sometimes I bring my attention to the stillness, and sometimes the stillness just takes over. I didn't realize earlier on over the past couple of years that this was what was happening. Now, when I bring my attention to the stillness on my own, it feels more intense, though I know it is not coming and going. My longing to recognize myself as stillness has increased, and it seems the more I recognize it, the more effortless it becomes. No more traveling, just shifting attention. As a result, when I experience fear or despair, inquiry becomes more powerful from this place, and I finally have the option to see that my problems don't belong to me because there's no me. As I inquire, what am I? The I does become something else. As I have read many times, and as I realize that this I is not the same me that I presupposed myself to be. The outward manifestation of this begins to show itself. The distance from the me and its problems begin to happen. I always wondered how I could handle life's circumstances with this profound attachment, but that question itself has me written all over it. As the self, I truly need do nothing, because any attempt to do something just leads to more suffering eventually. Doing nothing means letting the stillness lead, which can only occur if I relentlessly question the me and all of its concerns, from the how questions to the feeling in the pit of my stomach where I am about to encounter the painful and familiar. It is amazing how it gets all consumed in the fire of this consciousness. I'm realizing also that it is not a means to an end, that what it has to show me is beyond the non-reality that I thought was real. The depth of what it continues to reveal is infinite. I realize this is the moments that I inquire without a purpose. The emptiness is so full, and I am inspired to do this not only as a practice, but as a way of being. Thank you, Helen.
Wow, how amazingly beautiful. Inquiry for no reason at all. I'm paraphrasing what you said, and letting the stillness lead is doing nothing. That's just so beautiful. I hope that you kept a record of what you sent in there, because if you read that back, it's like some beautiful Gita or something, some scripture. It is absolutely amazing. And yeah, as you said, it was the same for me, that the reason for doing conscious imagining or statement process work or self-inquiry, meditation, any of it, the reason for doing it changed. Or you could say there was no reason for doing it other than the joy of it. And there's something sublimely powerful, peaceful, joyful, expansive about the self recognizing itself, awareness recognizing awareness, or consciousness recognizing it is conscious of itself. So choosing to do that becomes the deepest and richest joy that you could ever experience. And just recognizing the field, the silence, the stillness. It's like, I know that sounds like it's in separation, but it was like my best friend. It was always there for me, always there. And I could access it whenever, after I'd kind of practiced with meditation. And it became this love affair that I just always wanted to be aware of it. And then the separation dissolved, that there just was it. Sometimes I was noticing myself as the awareness. Sometimes I was aware of some other thing, some thought, some emotion, some experience. But the joy, like the best gift you could ever have, was to suddenly remember you can just turn around and look at yourself. There's awareness here. And that even now, even today, even right this moment when I check, it's just so much more profound every single time. There's just nobody here checking in. There's just checking in happening. And the body just delights in that feeling, and that just deepens and deepens, and it becomes beautifully addictive in a healthy way. It's the most beautiful thing to become obsessed with. And that also then, as you said, starts to kind of present itself at other times. You'll just be talking on the phone and awareness is just obviously here, or you'll be in conversation with somebody or chopping some vegetables or something, just unasked for, unsought. Your real nature just begins to move to the forefront. And that really gathers a momentum then when you let go of doing these practices for any reason other than it's just so incredibly beautiful to recognize yourself. And that never gets old. It just gets better every single time. So it spirals upwards, because the more joy I'm feeling, the more I want to do this, the more I want to check in, the more joy I'm feeling. And it just goes up and up and up. Peace, love, joy, compassion, wisdom, ecstasy, deep, 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 deep bliss. There's just quietly growing in the background. It starts off as this tiniest sense of satisfaction, comfort, ease, relaxation, and then just grows into something so much more than we could ever really imagine beforehand. And you just let yourself fall in love with that, right? Times when you can't seem to find awareness, it's okay. That's just a moment. You just let that happen. And somehow the awareness comes back to the forefront other than this sense of struggle. And I just love what you said. It's music to my ears about there's really no reason for doing this inquiry. That's just, why is the self doing all of this, really, all of this universe? And I still don't know, and I never find out, and I really wouldn't want to know. It's just the mystery of it, isn't it? And there's no greater joy for that self than when it starts to recognize itself. That's just so exciting, so empowering, so uplifting. Everything begins to change. And I can hear and feel in your words that you've fallen in love with that completely. And it's just a very short space of time now before you forget how to separate yourself in your imagination from it. That may have already happened since you sent this in. Just falling in love with that. Mine says, you don't need to check if the field is still there. You've just done that 5 minutes ago, It's obviously there. But just consciously recognizing the empty space of my being, the emptiness. There is nothing in all this universe that will feel better than that. Even if you could go to the other side of the universe and experience the whole galaxy and universe and everything, still wouldn't feel like that. So yeah, when I hear something like that, I know you're done, you're cooked, you're finished. It's just, you're running on momentum now, and just burning off a few more thought patterns. And as you do that, there's just more free energy that was caught up in the mind to just be here. Just infinite stillness, peace, deep, deep satisfaction, rest, joy, completeness, wholeness, passion, power, all of that, inspiration. Just life lived effortlessly from the position of the awareness, watching the body go through ever more beautiful experiences. Every day surprised, stunned, and delighted by how amazing it can be. So enjoy that. And you've given me the best gift ever. So I want to say thank you for that.